Pianki, his uncle Shabaka. This dynasty, 750 BC, renewed Africa again. They went up the Nile, conquered all of the Nile, unified it, raised the temples and the pyramids up again. The Renaissance of African people, it's real. You got pillar temples, you're in this damn city, ain't nothing but pillar temples. Pillar temple is yours, take it back. This is the greatest pillar temple in the world, built by Amenhotep III and his great queen, Queen T. 1390 BC. This is the pillar temple where you train your leadership, you form them. You just don't nominate them or create them, you give them values and traditions. Asa was saying 30, 40,000 Africans were trained in this institution for the men, and there was a similar institution for the women. That's why Queen T could sit with equal power with her husband for 36 years and rule with him. And when he died, she ruled by herself for 12 years. And then she saved the throne for her son, who ruled for 16 years. And together they went into the desert because so much power and money and corruption was coming into the Nile Valley. They went into the desert, not to have 40 years of wandering. They went into the desert to build a new city of God and abandon the greatest city of the world to create a new city of God to make it more pure to a divine understanding. This is your history. But if you're going to make it work, you got to be prepared to make an oath and to swear yourselves. This is in the courtyard of the grand dungeon of the Elmina Castle. And we went there on our pilgrimage, and they had conceived of a ceremony around one of us. I thought it was supposed to be Professor Small. So they came running at me, and they had me up in the air screaming, "No, it's him, it's him." It's me trying to tell them what to do. They had seen us coming to Africa over the years, and they have a tradition. So they had me up in the air. You see the white power. You see me holding on to the sword. That's the same sword that I tried to use when we had the reparations commission establishment. There's the arm of my wife. There's the arm of our right-hand man, Professor Smalls. And there was 100 of us. The Africans set this up by surprise. They didn't contact us, and we killed the goat, spilled the blood on the foundations of Elmina Castle to represent the blood spilled by our ancestors. And then we went over the moat into the Elmina courtyard, which we've been to, and we form a circle of Africanness when we go there. This time it had been transformed into royal African ground. And this time they were going to stool somebody. Me, as chief of a Safo company, the warrior company number 4. And the chief priest danced down to Professor Small and I, and he said, in our tradition, the political leader is held up, the spiritual leader is kept behind to be protected. And they saw the two of us, myself as the political leader and himself as the spiritual leader. The chief priestess came out. She had to be a part of the deal. And she looked at us after doing a dance around us, and then threw her whatever you call it, her thing that she passes around.
Her knife? Was it a knife?
No, it's not a knife, but it's something that has a spiritual power. She threw it at us blindly, and it landed on the lap of Camille Yarborough. No better person could have received it. Camille got up and danced her ass off. And so the Africans were able to see us and feel us. But you got to go to the Holy Mount. And that's the Holy Mount in Nubia. But you can't go because you can't get a visa. We don't give the Sudanese visas, so that they treat Americans the same way. You can't get a visa. Well, how did you get there, Dr. J? Dr. Bennett couldn't go there anymore either. I went there because you got to establish a spiritual relationship with African peoples. A young brother, Taki, is married to a Sudanese Egyptian, and he was the one that introduced me to the leaders of the Sudanese embassy. I had to meet them, I had to greet them, I had to go to their homes, I had to eat with them. And once they read me spiritually, I got a visa to go. And one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life is going to Egypt, to Cairo, to Kemet, and then going to the holy city of Amarna, that Akhenaten built, and Queen T and Nefertiti, and then leaving that with an Egyptian military surrounding us, and then flying that 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 600 miles, 1,000 miles to Khartoum, and then from Khartoum we made a pilgrimage of the Nubian sites. And this is the Holy Mount. That temple that you saw is related to the Karnak temple. That's the abode of Amun in the north. This is the southern abode of Amun. This is a replica of the beginning of history. In the Egyptian and Nile Valley tradition, out of the primal waters of Nun emerged a mound of the Spirit of God and intelligence. So this mound represents that. And this is the brother who's in charge of the 7 temples. This is Brother Rusty, our guide, and there's yours truly, Dr. Leonard Jeffries. This was like the experience when I went to Africa the first time in '81 with Dr. Ben, and I was in the temple, the Pillar Temple. I ain't been the same since. When I got here, the same thing happened. This is the Holy Mount. This looks like the Uraeus. The Africans have a temple of Amun that comes out from the mountain as the male genitalia comes out. And then they have a temple carved into the mountain because the woman's vital sexual organs are inside. So the royal children are born inside the mountain. These are the deep traditions of our people. And the first night I was there, it was getting dark, and we were at the altar. And the altar is as big as me, pouring libation. When I move around the world, I don't move around on no bullshit. I move around with the spiritual experiences that the Creator has allowed me to have. And it ain't nothing special. You can tap into these things yourself.
Amen.
I ain't got no special formula. I didn't create these activities. They're there.
It's almost 9 o'clock.
And this is the great conference we had in Senegal in 2010, the World Festival. And for the first time, Africans from the Caribbean and America stood toe-to-toe with the African scholars. It was one of our greatest moments. Tony Browder was there. Dan was there. Shelby Lewis was there. Dr. J was there, along with Theophilus Banga and the great Africans. This is the great panel, and there I am.
What year was that?
This was 2010. There's Ron Daniels. There's myself. There's a brother from Sudan. There's Shelby Lewis. One of the greatest moments in our history. And ain't nothing written about it. You all don't know about it. But that's why I say there's a rebirth of Africanness. There's an African Renaissance. And all of us are a part of it. Certainly Baba Lumumba, with this space that he's created, is part of it. So brother, look, that's just to titillate you. When I come back, I'll have a little bit more to tell you.
Well, we got